Alright, normally for this type of review, I would show clips from the trailer while talking about the film or the game or whatever, but this time I just can't be arsed. At first I couldn't even be arsed just doing the review in the first place, but I feel like people need to know, even if not many people are going to see this. But this is the end. It's fucking terrible. Right, I mean, I think part of it comes down to the fact that dark comedy, just in general, is hard to do. Because typically you think comedy, you think something light-hearted and fun, and there's nothing light-hearted or fun about this piece of shit. Like, basically, the film is about a few actors playing themselves when the apocalypse happens. Now, obviously, they're a bit more over the top and generally asshole-ish than you assume the real people might be, but I don't know, the whole thing just really didn't work in my opinion. I mean, surprisingly it had some good special effects, which you don't expect to see in a comedy, so I'll give it that much, but it just wasn't good. I mean, a lot of it just comes down to I guess shock value, or like kind of gross out humour, which isn't humour at all. And there's certain bits I need to talk about that, if I'm not going to actually talk about until I finish giving me overall thoughts, in case you want to see it, which I can understand why you might want to see it, but really don't bother, because it's really not good. Because basically it's about they're at a party at James Franco's house, and between them getting into the party about 10 minutes in and then like the last 5 minutes of the film, there are only like 2 bits that were actually in any way amusing. Really, most of the jokes that are kind of funny are in the trailer. It's one of those where they just put all the stuff that's actually any good in the trailer, and then that's it. And then you really don't need to see the film. So yeah, I don't want anyone saying, oh, you just don't get it, or you're just not into dark comedies. I mean, yeah, I'm not into dark comedies, but sometimes a bit of dark humour I can actually find funny, like in the Plinkett reviews on Red Letter Media. There's some really kind of dark and twisted and fucked up humour in that, but I find it funny. I can't really explain what the difference between that and this is. I think it comes down to the fact that the Red Letter Media stuff is actually funny, whereas this stuff is just not. Honestly, the last thing I have to say about the film before I start talking about any of the stuff that is spoilerish, I just need to say this. This film is, without hyperbole, this is the worst film I've ever seen in a cinema. Absolutely. And keep in mind that before this, that title was held for about 10 years by Tomb Raider Cradle of Life. Yeah. It's that bad. Now I'm going to talk about some of the stuff that is spoilerish. I'd like someone to explain to me how exactly some of this stuff here is funny. How is Jonah Hill being raped and possessed by the devil before being set on fire and crushed to death by a collapsing building funny? How is James Franco getting his nose bitten off and then being eaten alive by cannibals funny? How is a bunch of people freaking out over a severed head and like kicking it around and stuff funny? I just don't understand how anyone could think this film is funny, I really don't get it. And apparently the film's getting great reviews and the people behind it want to do a sequel. I mean, if this film gets a sequel, there really is no hope for the human race. I'm sorry, but there isn't. I mean, I felt genuinely sick watching this movie. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a film that made me feel that way, except for a few that were like really over the top with the gore. It's just, I don't know how many times or how many different ways I can say that this film was awful and that no one should see it. 'Cause, I mean, really, who is this film aimed at? It's a film in which 6 actors are basically playing themselves. So surely you need to be a fan of those actors in order to enjoy it. But when some of them die in pretty horrific ways, it's like, how are you supposed to enjoy it? Like, if I was a big fan of James Franco, how am I supposed to enjoy watching him being eaten alive? If I'm a big fan of Jonah Hill, how am I supposed to enjoy watching him get set on fire and crushed to death? Do you see where I'm coming from? That this film's clearly aimed at fans of these actors who probably wouldn't really want to watch the actors die horribly. And some of the other bits are just childish in what they think is funny. Like, the greatest example of this is when Emma Watson shows up. So basically, you know, everyone knows Emma Watson for playing Hermione Granger in Harry Potter. You know, so you're watching these films when she was like 11. You know, it's like, so obviously there's not going to be much swearing. And the point here is, Emma Watson comes in, she swears a bunch, she attacks them with a fire axe, she steals the booze. That's it. It's like it's basically, this whole sequence is built around the gimmick that this is someone who was a child actor, and obviously isn't known for this more mature stuff. You know, it's about the end of the world and this gore and swearing and all this stuff. And that's basically what the whole joke is. And it's not funny. I mean, there are some good lines to come out of it. Like, Hermione just stole all our shit. But I didn't really find it funny because I'd seen it in the trailer. Or when Emma Watson says, "I'm not fucking around." Again, it was mildly amusing when I saw it in the trailer. When I saw it in the film, no, it's not funny. And I mentioned that there are only a few funny bits after the first 10 minutes. I'm just going to say what they are now. One is when Jonah Hill is possessed, and there's a little bit where a title card comes up saying "The Exorcism of Jonah Hill." You know, which is of course a reference joke, and if you don't get the reference, you're not going to really find it funny. But it was mildly amusing. The next bit was when James Franco was ascending into heaven. He's putting his fingers up at all the cannibals, like, yeah, fuck you guys, I'm going to heaven. And then because his hubris or whatever, he just dropped. And that was funny, but then they start eating him. And I'm like, that is not funny. And then the other bit is when a beam of light cut Satan's dick off. That was mildly amusing. But then, if you actually think about it, it's really depressing. Because basically, I don't think any of the actors who show up at the party end up in heaven except for 3 of them at the end. Like, James Franco does not get there. Jonah Hill does not. The other guy's the leader of the cannibals. Emma Watson we never see again after she leaves the house. It's pretty clear that the likes of Rihanna and Michael Cera end up in hell. You know, like, how is it funny for Michael Cera to get impaled with a lamppost? How is that funny? Or a woman who trips and gets her head stepped on. It's like, it's really weird. Like, I mean, I guess these actors just generally don't find their films all that funny in the first place. But you know, they generally do have some funny bits in their films. But I'm sorry, this film was fucking atrocious. I don't know. I'm sure the idea was that it's just these actors getting together and taking some jabs at themselves and stuff, but I don't know, at certain points it kind of felt self-indulgent. And I don't know, I feel like because I think this would have worked better if it either been a more light-hearted comedy or just gone all out serious and dark. I mean, I think that's the main problem. One of the main problems with the dark comedy in general, the fact that it's kind of like how Capcom is with Resident Evil. That they're trying to be action and survival horror at the same time, trying to appeal to 2 vastly different audiences. Again, here, comedy and dark. Like, trying to combine the two, it doesn't really work. And by trying to appeal to everybody, you're really not making a good product. So yeah, do yourself a favour, don't watch this. Before the film was on, there was a trailer for The World's End, which, despite the name, is not a post-apocalyptic film, I don't think. But yeah, that, you know, it's the guys who did Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, 2 films that I didn't really like myself, But they did do Paul, and I thought that was hilarious. So I'd recommend that over this any day. Well, I'd recommend almost anything over this. Like, I'd probably recommend the Resident Evil movies over this. Yeah, that's how bad it is. So at least the fucking Resident Evil movies don't make you sick to be a human being. Yeah, it's awful. Just stay away from it. For the rest, like, for your entire life, do not watch this film ever. It's really what is best for you.